look at this. It's picking up speed. It's going 50 miles an hour. It's a 35. I'm going really, really fast, so I'm going to trust this. All right, good morning. Day number 4. The challenge goes on. I am still at 99 and hoping to maintain that all the way up until Friday. I'm expecting that the download will hit Friday night, maybe Saturday or Sunday. They're releasing a new version. So for those of you that are new to this challenge, when this is blue, it is an autopilot, which means that it protects my safety score. I cannot, even if the system itself automatically trips up, I cannot be penalized for that. So I try to use that as much as possible when I'm driving around to maintain my score. And you do need to pay attention, obviously. Another thing a lot of people don't realize is that full self-driving is not full self-driving. So today Tesla sells it as full self-driving. You can purchase it for, I think, $10,000. But it is not full self-driving. You do need to pay attention. Right now, today, if you were to buy it, the software does not navigate on its own. You need to take control for all turns. It's very rudimentary the way it works today, but they are developing it and slowly letting people in little by little to test the latest versions. So even if you purchase full self-driving today, you get a beta. But the public beta is different than the kind of limited release beta, and they're on different versions. It's a completely different build. So if I successfully maintain a score of 99, I'll be able to test and use full self-driving beta version 10.3, which will be really exciting because then the car will do a lot of things that it hasn't been able to do up until this point. It's one of the best things about owning a Tesla, in my opinion, is that the cars get better over time. And you've probably heard that before, but it really is true, and it makes it very exciting. I do not have a destination dialed in right now. No point, because I know exactly where I'm going. And the car is not going to try to go there itself anyway. So I'm going to change lanes here. So I initiated it, turned my right blinker on, and it changed lanes. Someone's coming up a little bit quickly behind me, and they're passing me on the left. They are going really fast. So one of the questions I've had is, why is Tesla testing drivers to see if they're safe? Isn't the whole point of full self-driving to protect unsafe drivers? That's a really good question. So the reason why is because they don't want someone to screw it up for everybody else. The beta is a beta for a reason. It's not ready, so it is going to screw up. And if someone's stupid enough to let it screw up, it could easily generate negative publicity. I think that's the idea. And then I got thinking about it a little bit more. So if you're living in the cities, it's very hard to prevent people from cutting you off. And in that case, you do have to initiate some hard braking. And you'll also get forward collision warnings. And you can't control that. So if you're down in a city, unlike me who lives in the suburbs, you are going to have a much harder time. So it's almost like Tesla is not allowing the people that live in cities to test out the full self-driving beta, which that confuses me a little bit. So maybe their strategy is to handle, to tackle the suburbs and the easier streets first. I guess that kind of makes sense. You want to get the easy roads down first. But one thing that's interesting is that, they say you have to keep your hands on the steering wheel. And in fact, if you don't do that, you'll get, the system will cancel itself on you. So that's a good thing. It ensures that you're paying attention. So here it says apply slight turning force to the steering wheel, and my screen is blinking blue. So I have two options. I can apply force to the steering wheel, or I can adjust the scroll wheel. So I'm just going to adjust it. There, I just turned it one little notch, and that notification went away. So that is the other method of getting that message to go away, to allow the system to continue driving. I typically use just the steering wheel method, but depending on the situation, I kind of go back and forth. So now it's manual, and make the turn nice and gentle. Yes. Okay. I think we're gonna get this software, guys. Well, thankfully I'm not in a very busy city, so I don't have a lot of people cutting in front of me and doing stupid things. Now this area right here is gonna be very challenging for full self-driving. This left turn is very challenging, especially when there's a lot of cars. So now that I'm on the main road, go ahead and turn on the autopilot. So it brings it to 45 miles per hour, 5 miles over the speed limit here. And it's going to take me up to this light here. So anyone who has purchased the full self-driving beta software does not have a fully working version. It's not fully self-driving. So another question I get is, well, how can Tesla get away with that? How can people buy something that is not even available? And that's a really good question. So, you know, I can answer that from my standpoint. I want to have it in the future. And there's a promise there from Tesla that it will be available in the future. And we've been told that with hardware version 3 of the computers in the cars, it will be able to handle the full self-driving. So I will say that since I got my Model 3 in March 2019, I have thoroughly enjoyed it, and I have had very few issues, and I would not have done anything different. This car feels exactly as it felt when I first purchased the car. It's just as fun. You know, it's a game too. When the weather changes, your regenerative braking gets reduced. So, for example, here comes a red light. And I know, it's 74 degrees outside, which is crazy for almost the end of October here in Chicago. But at 74 degrees, I know that I can start slowing down right around now. And it will, it's one pedal driving. I very rarely use the brake pedal. Here we are again. I love being at the front of the line at traffic lights. Oh my gosh. And every car I've had before this, I didn't care whether I was in the front or not. With this car, I really care. I will hunt out that front spot every single time. So we're going to launch here again when it turns green, just for fun. But I really haven't had any issues, and I've thoroughly enjoyed the car. But the regenerative braking gives it a whole nother experience. So one pedal driving is just phenomenal. I was checking out the brake pads with my dad not too long back in Michigan, and he was shocked. He said his comment, I wish I'd gotten it on camera. He said, "Are you even driving this car?" I'm like, "Yeah, I've got more than 30,000 miles on it." And he was really shocked. He said, "That's unbelievable." Well, the reason is because you don't really need a brake. All right, so I'm driving home from the gym here. I had to catch this last little clip of me going through this pretty busy intersection. I think there was an accident in the past where someone had gotten a very serious car crash. I think somebody died here at this intersection. So autopilot doesn't always handle this perfectly, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. Oops, go ahead and try it again. Okay, so there, double tap down, autopilot is on. The blue symbol up here shows that autopilot is engaged. So look at this, it's picking up speed. It's going 50 miles an hour. It's a 35. It's going really, really fast, so I'm gonna trust this, but see, hard braking. There, it slowed down at the last second. So it always misses these stationary cars up here. And this is a known difficulty when it comes to self-driving technology, is detecting objects that are not moving. So I'm curious to see how this intersection reacts after I get full self-driving beta. So this intersection sometimes has a hard time because there's a large gap between when the lines start again. So it's always interesting to go through there. Sometimes on the far left lane it will give me an error. In the middle usually it's okay, but especially if you turn it on kind of near the intersection and expect it to go through, it has a harder time than if you had turned it on much sooner before and it kind of knows, I don't know, the gradient of the road, or it can kind of predict the direction of the road better if you've turned it on further in advance prior. I don't know why that is, but it's always been that way with that particular intersection. Okay, so I'm slowing down. I've gotten pretty used to using the regen to slow down without any hard braking. If you let the car slow down with regen only, it can be a little bit abrupt, but it never counts as hard braking. So you're completely safe as long as you never touch the brake pedal. All right, so that brings us to the end of the drive. All right, let's check the safety score. Drum roll, and 99. All right, we are still at 99. So if I go to the daily details here, miles driven 16 today, safety score 100. Boom shakalaka, yeah. All right, so it looks like I am on track as long as nothing out of the ordinary happens tomorrow. And Friday, I should be able to have the full self-driving package by the weekend. Fingers crossed, let's hope they release it in time.